What?
What's going on?
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Maybe movie.
Hello. We're under Charter's orders, but I didn't. He wouldn't. He couldn't. And you shouldn't.
Never.
I'm sorry. Hello. Welcome back to Maybe Movies. My name is Max.
Oh, my name is Sam.
I'm Rob. Hello.
And yes, welcome back to the one and only Rob Turner. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
This is our pocket dimension, otherwise known as the Delirium, in which we have been trapped for the past almost 5 years.
Is it really?
Years in August. So, and it's kind of, it's showing some like wear and tear here. I mean,
There are gaps.
it does raise the unfortunate question of entropy.
In the scientific sense or the
Well,
emotional sense?
Well, I think in the scientific sense, possibly in the emotional sense, but in the scientific sense certainly, because by definition, being in a pocket dimension, we are in a closed system.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's getting a bit warm, isn't it?
just a bit.
I'm just not speculating.
It'll all be fine. Thank you, I'm going to say for the third time, for joining us. And obviously, if you do enjoy what we do here, please do all the usual. Please do like this video, share it, subscribe. Don't hit the notification bell because we're not really using that for reasons. There was a post about it a while ago. I'm sure I'll do another one again. But at the moment, it's counterproductive to us to use the notification bell because of schoolboy errors when we started. Let's put it that way. He's gone for all of the scarves, hasn't he?
Oh my god.
Triple scarf trend.
Dude, he is a dapper gent.
He is. That's probably his supervillain name.
Dapper gent.
Hey!
What?
Hey!
What?
Like somebody called the scarf would ever be a villain.
Sorry. Private joke. But it does bring me quite nicely. Segue. Feel the segue. Onto...
Paul Blart Mallpark.
onto what we're going to be doing this month.
Not Paul Blart Mallpark.
No.
Oh, no, not at all.
But
No.
if somebody has a suggestion for that one. Anyway, one that I've been thinking about for a while.
Okay.
I am going to suggest a title straight off the bat. A title that will see us creating something that is incredibly, if I can give that to you guys, despicable.
Ah.
You knew it had to happen.
Yeah, I like. Oh,
Yes.
it's a completely different franchise.
Although, it must be said, might have to retire Austin.
Oh, no. Austin's been there for a long time.
Which is fine until Mike Myers' name came up in the Diddy trial.
I'm going to pretend I know what that means, but it sounds bad.
Basically,
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy has some infamous parties and...
Oh!
Yes.
Some folks may or may not have been there.
Yes, I
the
have
two-
been hearing about this.
Yes,
Yes,
the two of the first names that came up in the trial were Mike Myers and Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
I mean, I like to swing, but Dr. No means no, baby.
Before we dwell any more on that, we'll do the other thing that needs to be done before we even look at these.
Indeed, and,
Which
you know,
is...
The poll.
Oh, the poll,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so in case you weren't with us last month, we were doing our usual Maybe Movies thing of making two theoretical films, and the films in question were Critters and Fiend Without a Face, which became Critters from Outer Space, which was Critters in the 1950s, and then Invisible Mantle Vampires in the 1980s in Fiends.
Fiends.
It was a bit of a low-scoring one.
13.
It was a bit of a low-scoring one, unfortunately. So we had a total of 7 votes.
Oh, well.
Didn't get anything from X or from Twitter on that one.
That's a shame.
We both voted for Fiends in the end, and it was close. There was only one in it.
Really?
So by 5-4, Fiends is our maybe movie for last month.
Oh, look at that! I got it right several months in a row.
Yep, same here. So that wins the Easter crown, and we'll be here with a fanfare. And as always, thank you to everybody who voted. And if you want to get in on the action, then when this episode comes out, check all the usual places. I'll talk about it at the end of the episode, and cast your votes whether or not you think what we are about to create qualifies as a maybe movie or not.
Tell us, please.
Make us feel like we're worth it. Okay.
Okay.
So we have, obviously, The Incredibles from 2004 and Despicable Me from 2010.
Oh, quite close. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Disney Pixar versus Universal.
Of course, yes.
No, we don't really need to talk about acts because it's a mashup.
I was trying to stick to acts, but I just realised it's not going to matter at this point. It really isn't.
And it doesn't help that The Incredibles has got 4-act structure as well.
You could squeeze it into a 3-act structure, but it's mostly a 4-act structure.
Yeah. I mean, that's an hour 50. Despicable Me is an hour and a half.
It's that extra act.
It's that extra 20 minutes that makes the difference. But there are a couple of things about this that are really nice, I think, that make sense that these two could work together. Primarily, the universe of Despicable Me is notably absent of heroes.
That's a good point.
It is.
Because they're all in witness protection.
And also,
yes.
And also, I think there are certain ways, which I'll get to like when we start pitching, that you can tie certain elements together, which I think could work from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
Right. I hate to be a grump, but there's a question I want to ask straight away off the bat. Obviously, we're doing a mashup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, are we in the milieu of The Incredibles, or are we in the milieu of Despicable Me? Because this does matter. People die in The Incredibles.
Snookets!
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Whereas people walk away from explosions in Despicable Me.
Well, I think this is something I was going to come up to with my pitch. In that, obviously, like you say, there's the darker element. There was one part of this which I think we could tie together, which would soften one element of The Incredibles, but still sort of tie in with it.
Okay. No. Go. We are at pitch stage, so...
The idea with, like, the opening of The Incredibles is that, you know, obviously we get the introduction to the superheroes and the POV sort of talking head bits, and then it gets to that crucial point where ultimately the whole thing that means that the supers have to go into witness protection with, like, the Despicable Me thing, that's a considerably darker element than you get in that. But this is where I'm going to throw in a what if for you.
Are you going to do a what if we can do both?
Not quite.
Okay.
I'm thinking a way of tying in Gru and his family with The Incredibles.
Right.
In Despicable Me, you get that montage of Gru doing all kinds of silly, wacky shenanigans, you know. So you can have that element, which is also quite quick. But what if Mr. Incredible accidentally injured Gru? And what if that derailed his...
Because there was a lot of flashbacks in Despicable Me. And if one of the flashbacks was when he was a kid, he stopped him. So Gru was trying to do something as a fledgling villain.
Yes.
And in the result of stopping him...
You see, this is one of the things I was going to come on to after we sorted the milieu thing.
Indeed.
Which is...
Great word, by the way.
Are we replacing Syndrome with Gru, or are we...
Well, I was getting to that.
Well, by the way, while we've been having this conversation...
Light bulb.
Oh, go. Yes.
If we're doing this as a mashup, and also to make things easier for us, if we're doing this more like, as opposed to the events of both films haven't happened, and if this is going to be, if we make this into a Incredibles / Despicable Me 2.0, if you like.
Yeah.
What if, at the end of The Incredibles, we know what happens to Syndrome? He has a final thing that he activates that creates a rift that allows connection between the two universes.
That's
he
cool.
Escapes from one universe into the other. I know it's doing the multiversal thing, but creates a rift that then means the two universes
That's kind of a bigger
connected.
thing than I was thinking, but I'm intrigued by...
It's a bigger thing than I was thinking, but I don't know. Maybe we can do both.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like kind of in a more grounded
So when
way.
he does the thing, it contacts the League of Villains.
In the other dimension, or so are we still saying in the same?
Why do we need another dimension?
I was just trying to tie it into the fact that you have two totally different world settings.
Right. Okay. So we're going back to That's the thing. We've got to resolve that before we can kind of move ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I get that. Because I think what might help is if we sort of do like a basic idea and then sort of decide what fits and what doesn't. So for me, I just think Syndrome is an incredible villain, and I'd still want him as the central villain. But just throwing this out there, what if in the weird sort of turn of events, because keep in mind, in The Incredibles, Bob technically goes into witness protection twice. What if he moves again? His next door neighbour is Gru and his family.
Oh, that's
and now
interesting.
Gru's family. Thank you very much.
That is
I think
interesting.
But I think I can answer.
You see, I
can answer the question as to whether we're going deaths or not.
I was thinking that maybe we would have Gru and Syndrome be rivals,
I am your biggest fan.
and that there would almost be a triangle of interaction, but I think that is a much more interesting idea, because then it's about two families.
Keeping up appearances,
It's bouquet.
keeping up with the Joneses, while hiding the fact that they're on opposite sides of the
Because
fence.
they're both family units, aren't they?
Exactly, and you can
No,
have...
yeah, totally,
Yes,
take
thank you,
it.
guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally yours, yeah.
But I think I can answer the question as to whether or not we're going deaths or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't allow heroes, because people die.
Ooh.
The villains, so it's almost like by not having the heroes, a lot of people died as a result of them, the villains can, they can go and do their thing and things get really silly. But when heroes get involved, it changes the stakes of cause and effect.
Yeah. But this is why I said like an injury as opposed to the death that's in Incredibles, because immediately that then softens it, because an injury can be cartoonish, it can be silly, and
Yeah.
I think the thing is, let's say that this is a co-production between two studios, and like you say, you're trying to blend two scripts together, you're trying to blend two universes together, that there could be some toning down. I think a lot of what happens with Syndrome, I wouldn't say you sort of remove the death element entirely, because I do think...
Right, so it could be like, for example, minions survive, but heroes die. Or something like that. Like
Is that,
if
or
it's
like
important.
something happens with the heroes?
Yeah, it's
but
like when you tip over a certain line. Because I'm worried about tonal inconsistency. It's why I was
Yeah,
asking the
God,
question
well,
in the
this
first
one
person.
therein is why I thought this is a good scope. So, for example, keeping in mind like the idea of them being neighbours, you can have a degree of minions. I would argue we could tone back some minion.
There's a lot of minions in the first
Is
one.
that, but like having them, say, for example, being like pets, in that they get up to some stupid background shenanigans and that's funny, but you don't have them in there the whole time.
Yep.
Oh, multi-thing. Cheers, guys.
I think we need to keep death to a degree on the table because it
Oh, yeah.
raises the stakes.
Yeah, because of peril.
Yes.
Oh,
exactly.
I think the risk has to be there. I don't know. I think as I say, I think if you can do it, you do it reasonably quickly. I think it is definitely doable. Because, like I say, if you then have Gru as the grumpy neighbour, and like the family unit is already established, so we've had a pretty quick montage to sort of show what happened with the kids.
Oh, I'm liking it more and more.
Because then it's like we have it in there, and we have certain things established. Also, I will address Vector at a later point.
Well, you see, this is the problem. That unless we're going to massively extend the runtime, something has to give.
That's
Whether
why-
it's Syndrome, whether it's Vector.
That's why I think we have to do this as
I was getting to that.
as a almost like a 2.0, where there's so we don't have to bog ourselves down with the events of the individual films.
No.
This is what happens next. But it's interesting because I was struggling with in terms of an actual plot, but I could see certain plot beats and key points to hit as like milestones on the story, incorporating what you've just said there. So you've got Gru planning on doing whatever he's ever trying to do, knowing that there's heroes that are going to try and stop him, but obviously not knowing that the heroes are his neighbours. Vector is still around, throwing a spanner in the works to what he's trying to do. But what we eventually end up with is the reveal that the big bad is actually Syndrome.
Yes.
And so by the time we get to Act 3, we have Gru and the Incredibles having
Okay,
to team
I'm
up
All right.
Sorry.
against Vector and Syndrome.
I mean, can I say my idea after you've seen yours?
No, I don't have an idea. I'm just like, I'm not sure that works.
Yeah, so my feeling is, when I say Vector will be addressed, do the quick montage, and then we can have, say, throwaway references. So, for example, saying, there was this time that I was supposed to go and see my children's recital, but I was busy stealing the moon. I'm sorry, I went too loud.
We can have a bunch of in-jokes about the potential plot lines. We could totally do
exactly,
that.
and it's because you're kind of alluding to it. You can do kind of Family Guy cutaways. You can kind of
how's this for a premise?
Go for it.
I don't know which way round it works, but we can two act this, two halves of the movie. Yeah, we have Vector, and then we have Syndrome. Or we have Syndrome and then we have Vector.
Yeah.
We have an introductory villain and then the end villain. Because Vector's going to annoy the hell out of the Incredibles and out of Gru.
Yeah. Oh, he's a wiener, yeah.
Wang!
And vice versa is the same for Syndrome, really. Because Syndrome's going to be interfering in Gru's activities.
I would say Syndrome, of all of them, is the strongest character.
Yes.
Because I think he's such a good character.
So is it that Syndrome is bankrolling Vector after his failure?
Oh! Ooh. Take a gold star, sir. Take a gold star, sir.
That's another way of doing it. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to stop us here. I feel like we've done enough pre-production. We need to start our movie.
We do.
Fair play.
Do the Incredibles move into Gru's neighbourhood, or does Gru move into the Incredibles
Here's how I see
neighbourhood?
it. We keep the initial intro of superhero intro, and part of this is, like I say, shenanigans with Gru, and then the thing that kind of interrupts it is it finishes off with Mr. Incredible accidentally injuring Gru, and so...
Oh, so Gru is the one that sues them.
Bingo!
Oh, does that work?
Yeah, because the thing is, he's got issues with funding. It would also, if they then become neighbours, extra antagonism, which is always fun.
Yes!
But are we saying that that is an event from a lot earlier in the timeline?
A lot earlier, because and again, that you can then sort of cut in Gru shenanigans in there as well.
Yeah,
I think that works.
You can have a bit of Minions bunkum for the kids in there as well.
Of course.
You know?
And then 15 years later, 20 years later,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we get to that, it can be the three girls looking out the window as their new neighbours are moving in.
There you go.
All right, yeah. So they're moving into Gru's neighbourhood.
Yeah,
exactly.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Exactly, and it's like you can still have the same kind of explanation of how it happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're just cutting a lot of stuff.
So that's literally our first 5 to 10 minutes.
There you go.
Right off the bat. Okay, so where do we go from here? They move in and there'll be conflict because obviously Gru hates them and they hate Gru.
So to add a little thing to our film's title as a subheading to it, because we're setting this after everything, Incredibly Despicable, Vector's Revenge. Ooh. So again, it's setting up the blind here that Vector's the big bad when we, making the film, know that he's not.
That's cool. I like that. Because it's a nice blind, which is too many movies these days give their entire plot away in the first trailer. Let's keep a few secrets for the audience. So
as you say, so we get this again. So we get the montage at the beginning. We then get them moving in again. That kind of to and fro between the families. Maybe one of the girls goes, "Oh God, look at him!" when she spots Dash.
Yeah, well, it's
those
interesting.
Little things.
I can think of a number of options. For starters, I feel like Dash is the right age for Edith. Maybe they're both brash and confident in different ways. Especially by the end of the original movies that they were in.
No, I think she's a bit too old. Who's the middle?
The middle child. He's the middle child.
It's time to deploy the middle child.
You want to make smug pies and where's the beans?
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's Edith.
Yeah.
But then Violet and Magda clash.
Yeah,
because again, very sort of different characters.
Very much. Yeah.
Still very both intelligent young women, but
indeed. And like empowered young women.
Yeah, and like one's a bit more sort of
yes.
More introverted than the other, and
we could have again some stuff with Gru's dog.
Dogs are always fun.
What's the dog called again? I've forgotten. Kyle, that's it. Do we need to address Dr. Nefario?
I think the simplest thing is to just cut him. Like,
why? Why do we cut Dr. Nefario? Because Dr. Nefario invents everything.
My feeling is at the point where they have to team up, if they do team up,
Yeah.
you have Edna Mole, so...
Yeah,
And
but
also-
you
and
could-
I think- and
no,
also-
you could have lovely conflict scenes between Dr. Nefario and Edmund Mole having an argument about the best costume for the team.
There's
I take potential it there.
Okay, let's keep it simple. It's a recast.
I did also have an idea as well, and it's a really
Yeah.
silly one. I don't know if we can figure it into it. If at some point, if at one point you have Vector impersonating Edna.
Ooh, that could be fun. Yeah, like some kind of security system.
There's
that could be-
possibilities there.
That could be wacky fun. Yeah.
But I'm getting
Yeah, we're
sidetracked.
getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay,
But hey, get
so we
the
get
ideas
that.
out there.
So I think what we did, so we get that kind of all of these kind of establishing scenes. This is the first
Yeah,
part of Act 1.
that's easily 15 minutes we've covered.
And then what we need to do is we need a statement of intent from Vector that he's back.
Yeah.
So it's
we
gotta
need
be
something
something-
big and dramatic.
Big and dramatic. I don't want to repeat ourselves with like the inflatable pyramid. So we then cut away to some kind of caper, and at the end of it, there's like this big inflatable V.
Well, Vector is very much about the big statement, so I think another landmark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, landmarks
Another
are always cool
landmark
'cause,
would
you
be
know,
a
so
good
they get,
start.
like,
Because it's also the sort of thing that would, like, even if our version of Mr. Incredible isn't listening to the police scanner, he's watching the news.
Yeah.
Because I can see a scene where we have a cross-cut between Gru watching the news and Mr. Incredible watching the news, and both getting annoyed for slightly different reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yes, nice.
So it's like,
Yeah,
got there first.
but I think we end it.
Beat you, buddy.
So what about something like, because it's a nod to Despicable Me, where he says that they
Stole the Statue of Liberty! The small one from Las Vegas.
So he steals the Statue of Liberty. Vector steals the Statue of Liberty, and then once everyone notices that it's gone, there's just this big inflatable V in its place. So everyone knows that
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
back, baby.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, that'd
Something
be
like
cool. That'd be fun.
Which I think, because, I mean, we don't want to overextend our runtime, we should be fairly brisk. I believe this is when at least Bob, if not the entire family, it's your guys' calls whether it should be the entire family, but at least one of the parents, you know, Elastigirl or Mr. Incredible, should go to investigate the crime.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, at the same time, Gru is on his way to foil Vector's revenge. Because that gives us this perfect bit when they all meet up together, they have the stupid superhero fight that is absolutely
Absolutely,
guaranteed
It is
to
offering
happen.
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's our first act.
That is our. I think that would be our.
No,
first
I mean, obviously we can hammer out the details, but the general structure of the first act
I
is
think
there.
that's solid. Yeah, because and also because it's an animated film, you want to keep it, get it going pretty.
Yeah,
quickly.
this is not an onion situation.
No. We need to keep it nice and simple. It's for kids. You know, yes, they're family films, but they're predominantly for kids. So it needs to be upfront, quick, lots of action. But as you say, so we can have some lovely stuff there.
So-
with Gru against the Incredibles, with the minions as well.
And the minions! I didn't even think about the minions. I was just thinking about Gru and his guns and inventions and things.
Yeah.
My feeling with the minions is background hijinks, and for the longest time you're thinking a bit like Bob.
Hey, Bob, I think she's done.
Bob can be like the older person in the audience watching this line. What are the point of these idiots messing about? But they do become important later on.
I'm wondering, it's just a joke. It's just a one-line joke. But it could be literally Mr. Incredible does something that would normally make all the minions explode and not be in the movie anymore.
Yeah.
And they would just come out of the rubble and shake themselves off and cough theatrically.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, those aren't normal minions.
What's going on? Yeah, exactly.
You know, like he could actually comment on how Gru's minions are not like normal minions.
Yeah, they come back.
It could be a running
They
gag.
come back.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have a running gag with that.
Well, I did think we're going to this bit of what we could also, as a nod to the first one as well. You've got Dash running around while they're. I don't know if he's there. Oh no, we're just saying. Mr. Incredible.
No. Actually, we should because I said it was up to you guys. Should we do the entire families, or should we have one responsible or two responsible adults?
I think at this point, because we don't want to jump in too soon with the whole family, so I think it's just Bob and Dash that have gone to there. But I did have a brilliant thing where you've got Dash running around trying to help, and then they catch him out with the fart gun.
Because farts.
Nice callback.
Yeah. They're just,
Yeah, nice callback.
Yeah.
You know, because it's very obvious it's the most usefulest gun in the world.
Yeah.
When they use it in the first film, so when it actually gets used for a real reason in
Yeah.
the second film, it's a
Exactly.
nice payback.
Yeah.
You know, that works.
Obviously, Vector's already got away. He's done the big thing. They've had their fight. Do we want then, at this point, to say that something has been left behind? It would probably be Gru who finds it, which is a sample of Syndrome tech.
Ooh.
Right.
To give him something to investigate in Act 2.
Hang on for a second. So, wait, we were saying that Syndrome is bankrolling Vector?
Yeah. So because he's out of
Right.
because of his failure, he's out of odds with his dad, so he's out of odds with the bank. So he needs funding for what he's doing. And Syndrome as a mysterious benefactor.
Personally gonna say I would rather they tracked Vector back to his lair and find the tech there.
Okay.
You know, do a bit of detective work.
Yes.
Which is a great possibility to introduce the kids because they can bypass security systems and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why the kids got involved in the first place.
So we can do a repeat on that on the other side.
Actually, that's really the beginning of the second act. We gather the family to go on a mission.
Yes.
After Vector, because of his revenge. That's the end of our first act, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoosh!
Whew. Okay, so we appear to be cooking with the proverbial gas.
Yes, we've got something on the cook. It's starting to smell good. Let's see if we don't... take it. Let's see if we don't ruin the brew.
Yes.
The stew.
Or make it Cajun style.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much
I'll get my,
cayenne pepper.
I'll get my banjo.
Right,
Guaranteed.
so everybody goes back home a bit beaten up.
Yes.
Yeah, is that you kind of licking your wounds?
So I imagine there's a bit when Mr. Incredible is getting out of his car with Dash, and they're a little bit beaten up and a little bit cinched around the edges, and Gru pulls up in his great big silver jet engine thing, and everybody kind of spills out, and the minions sort of bounce a bit, and they just look at each other. Nobody says anything, and they just all file inside.
I like that. That's a cool scene.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Well,
I was just thinking as well, as just a little bit of business. In the same way, in Despicable Me, he's just painted the pyramid to look like the sky. We need to do something with the Statue of Liberty. He's got it set up in his front lawn as like a lawn ornament, and there's maybe like water coming out of the mouth or something.
That'd be fun. I like that. That's a fun
That's a nice
one.
touch.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Seconded.
We are totally off the rails. I should stop looking at my notebook, really. So do we have like a split second act where the two families are acting in concert to try and figure out what's going on with Vector, and they break in again at the same time?
I know you'll be loving this, right?
Right. So
Get out! Sorry, he's
no,
quoting,
we've got
he's
everybody
quoting
back
Limp
home.
Bizkit.
What?
He's quoting Limp Bizkit.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
It's just great. It's like
Good man.
I've noticed, like, for example, when you do anything in a David Bowie voice, you can make it sound sort of mystical and profound, like when the wildest kinds of fields and you wish that you were there. Sorry, carry on.
I'm sorry, buddy. You were on a roll there. I shouldn't have interrupted.
No, it's good. No, carry on. I was derailing things.
So we've got everybody back home. We need to get them back outside again pretty quickly.
Yeah. What I would suggest.
Oh, sorry. This is the thing I almost said before we started filming. Do we want to foreshadow that Vector is working for Syndrome, or do we want it to be a complete surprise?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I was thinking about this.
I'm going with complete surprise personally, but
yeah, because I thought you could drop in hints. Now the problem is,
well, you can do a Dr. Claw. You know, you could do an off-screen shot where he's talking to someone and you don't get to see them.
Yeah,
you could do that.
That's why I was saying that we need to do something where they find a piece of tech and somebody goes.
I'm asking if you're saying we should this way, but I'm saying, are we going to foreshadow it, or are we going to keep it as a complete surprise?
I think we should. My thinking is that we work up to a point where Gru knows what Vector's tech looks like, but the Incredibles will recognise Syndrome's tech.
Yeah.
So I think the reveal should come as a surprise.
But some kind of setup.
But it should be some kind of setup where they're both bringing parts of the information that allows them to make the reveal.
But do we foreshadow it, or leave it as a complete left field?
Ooh. That's the truth. Because I don't know. Because like you
Because
say,
it does matter. It does matter.
I think this is the thing. I think obviously because I think in recent times, like the third act twist villain, if you like, has become a bit of a
Right, like like Taskmaster and Black Widow and things like
exactly.
that.
But like in a few like Pixar films, like say for example, De La Cruz in Coco, and in this instance, like you say, I don't think you want it completely out of nowhere. I think what would be really cool, sorry, I'm going to sound like a really pretentious goon here, but I'm going to say it. When I was studying screenwriting at the University of Chichester, my tutor had this great phrase which was unexpected but inevitable. And I think this is especially true with twist type things, because you want to have enough information so that the people who get it can feel smug, but the people who don't get it can be surprised.
So, some foreshadowing, but not complete foreshadowing.
Like I say, enough to kind of drip feed it, enough so that someone gets it. Thank you very much. But, yeah, like you say, not too much. And that's going to be the tricky balance.
Yes.
So, just one scene that would give a hint.
Exactly. So something, whether it would be a different type of Omnitech droid, a different...
I take it we're not having Mirage, is that her name?
I think it'd be hard to squeeze her in, I think.
Oh, I forgot about
I
Mirage.
mean, she's a cool character.
Yeah.
She is a cool character.
I mean, my other option that I thought is... Sorry, if we can just say my other option would be something like, is Syndrome...
I think I know where you're going.
Is Syndrome or somebody impersonating somebody, so like... Their contact...
That would be perfect.
So like the guy who's been relocating
I think I know
them?
where you're going with this, which is kind of in the same vein.
Okay,
I'll say my thing, and my feeling is very quick, like alert on a phone, something like that. Mirage pops up, and it's like, you've got to do something, cut. And it's like a very quick showing of the Omnidroid thing. So like I say, the people who get it know that she's being attacked by a thing, but the people... like you say, who aren't paying close attention will miss it.
So she's
only half right.
So she's under threat?
Yeah, because she betrayed Syndrome in the last movie.
Okay,
so
what
she's
about...
become a quasi-good guy, maybe a mole?
Yes.
A mole? And so she's warning...
But like you said, but obviously she's been found out, and it's a very quick. Oh shit!
It's not explicitly Syndrome, but it's Mirage was Syndrome's assistant.
Yes. So it's like you say,
there's a hint.
So what about if, because of what she did to help them out, they've managed to get her a job working for the government agency that relocates them?
That all makes sense, but we reveal that in the third act. Right at the end when we reveal all of the plan and the super objective.
And of course we've got the added bonus.
Right now,
Helen
we just need to see her.
Yes, but now he's doing good. But then something happens to her.
If it's a very quick video...
something happens to her.
So say, for example, like you say, your idea with like her being part of like the government agency, like if you have like a uniform, if she's wearing a similar uniform to him, then you have like a visual cue, but it's not like I say, it's not too obvious.
So she's contacting them to make sure that their cover is still intact after them going into action.
It's an emergency
on Ellis Island.
Yes.
Thematic time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. That all works. That all works.
Yeah, but then it depends on what we want to do. I know we want to hint at Syndrome. I mean, the other way to do it, if we want to still keep lying into the blind, they're having this conversation, and then off camera when we see her, you just hear,
"Oh yeah!"
and she gets hit by a squid gun or something.
All right, okay. Hang on a minute. This is going.
But that's good. I think I've gone too. I've just kind of dived into the moment and not.
This is going back to the beginning with our milieu.
Yes.
We're allowed to. We've allowed ourselves to move back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I think we could do that and just have a lovely comedy moment.
So it's
just a silly moment.
Kind of dangerous, but also silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So we can do that.
Yeah, I think we can do that. It makes it seem like Vector's with her.
Yeah.
It seems like she was with... And so we're foreshadowing, but we're not saying it.
So this happens, so it's just Bob who's watching, who's checking in with...
Totally Bob. I never met anyone else.
Oh my god, I've got to go and do something. At which point, Elastigirl comes in. Sorry, I forgot. Is it oh, no, it's
Helen?
It is Helen.
Helen.
Sticks her head in. Come on, you're not ready. We're going round for tea with the neighbours.
Oh, yeah.
So we can throw in that because again they don't know who each other is. Are we still going?
No, this is the second movie.
But they don't know who each other is, do they?
Yeah, they do.
So
Wait, sorry, Gru, are you saying Gru and Miss Incredible?
because the Incredibles don't know that they're living next door to a villain, do they? So the kids have all got together and they've invited them. They're going round to meet the neighbours.
I know what you're saying and I appreciate it, but unfortunately what we already set up doesn't work with that, because he got sued by Gru.
We did that in the first act.
That's the first act, it's the montage at the beginning.
But I mean, it still
See,
works.
he knows exactly who he's living with.
That's a shame.
I mean, you could still have the call is interrupted.
We'd have to rewrite the first act to make that work. At this point, the question I'm going to ask is, where are you going with this?
Well, I was simply looking for a way that we can get them together in a family situation. Again, similar to some of the kind of family stuff that you can get in Despicable Me.
You can still have that.
I mean, and just
all right, okay.
And again, we don't need to rewrite Act 1 because there's no reason to say that because he was a villain 15 years ago that he still is today.
I've got it.
He's put it in the past.
I've got it.
Don't give it to me.
We make a character who's a bit like Miss Hattie in Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
She's the HOA lady in the neighbourhood. And we have a meet and greet barbecue.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So to introduce the new neighbours to the yes, of course.
Nice.
Very nicely done. Phew.
That's that. There we go. And again, the familiar stuff comes out, and
the kids get to meet the kids.
Yeah, because they don't care.
Not like just the neighbour kids, but like actually in a public environment where they've got to behave, so they can't use their powers or guns or anything.
Which allows us to have the moment we were saying with Jack and Agnes with the unicorn and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All happens there, but of course something we'll talk about it in a second. But something will happen that will derail this nice family barbecue.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. While you guys are thinking, I was going to say, while you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to talk to these lovely people over here.
Okay.
And do a quick shout out. This one is going to be one that it's for a channel that I've been following for a while, and then I forgot about for a while. Sorry. Just there is like how many millions of channels, so I do apologise. But this is for a channel called World-1 Entertainment, who does games playthrough content, but he does a lot of older games and stuff, mostly retro games. I was watching him doing a playthrough of Golden Axe recently.
Classic game.
Yes. I must admit, there's a lot of stuff that he does that isn't my personal interest. Stuff like wrestling games and that, which are... But he is a great contenter, doing great things.
Good.
So do give him a look, especially if you are a fan of like retro games and stuff, especially as he's obviously playing them on the original machines as well.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I am so jealous.
Do give him a look. There, as always, there will be a link up here and in the description below. And as always, buddy, keep up the great work.
Well, as a bit of a retro gamer myself and a serious, 80s, 90s retro gamer, keep up with the good work, sir.
So, how are we going to derail this party?
Oh, I have an idea. In order to, obviously, because like you say, you want everyone to behave. You want this to, go by without a hitch. You don't want to knock off neighbourhood lady. So the minions are being kept in the basement. And so during this time, everything's going all right, and everyone's like, oh yeah, isn't this nice? Yeah, nothing is going wrong at all. Minions being minions, they start dicking about and hitting each other. They hit a pipe or a septic tank or whatever thing causes a massive leak and things to get damaged. And this, of course, adds to further tension with the families because...
it could be
I will say yes, and the person who was left in charge of the minions down in the basement, of course, is Dr. Nefario. So we have a scene with literally Dr. Nefario holding onto the sides of the tunnel, holding back the minions who are just having a little mini riot.
Yeah.
And then everything explodes, and Dr. Nefario ends up in the middle of the barbecue.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I was also going to suggest, and it might be too much in this bit, and it may require us just to insert some foreshadowing back into Act 1. While this is all happening, we then get Vector's next heist.
Yes!
Oh!
Because it would also explain why he's doing that and why they're not tracking him.
My first thought was something completely stupid, like he's going to steal the Goodyear blimp or something.
Yeah.
So it's something that they can all see. But the other way of doing it, because that's possibly not high-tech enough, we can throw in some stuff, secondary information on the news in the background and stuff in Act 1. They're revealing the new hypersonic plane. And it's going to be flying over the town, so they see it.
I've seen everything, I've seen it all.
And so it's like, we're in this nice family situation. Both of them have reasons to have to leave. How are they going to extricate themselves?
I don't know if I'm pushing my luck here. I'm really, really keen on the combined theme of family. So I feel like you're on the right track, but I think it should be something much more personal.
Vector is targeting something that will...
That personally affects both of them. Both of the families.
Yeah, that is a good question.
I mean, I could lean into the HOA theme and, like, literally he steals their community centre or their...
Gru's house.
Gru's house.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, he shouldn't raise Gru's house and steals it.
Yeah.
Steals it. That's good. I like that.
Or I don't think you should steal... No, what it should be... should be like a massive claw that scoops it out of the ground.
Yeah.
And because the claw is so big, it scoops the Incredibles' house as well, because it's next door.
And just for really good comedy later on in our third act, all of the minions get scooped up because they're underneath the house.
Does that mean that we want to bring in the Underminer as well?
That might be
We'll
pushing
come back to that later. I think that's the third act reveal.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we all deserve a star for that.
Oh, we
Yay,
do.
good
Yes,
work, team.
absolutely, yes. That was definitely a group effort.
Have one, sir.
Multi-thanks, sir.
That was brilliant.
And so it
That was brilliant.
Yes, because this is all happening at the community centre, or where the barbecue is.
Yeah.
So it should be Bob or Kevin. Is one of the minions gets away and they have to run and find them.
Vector's got that big white hover pod.
Yes.
So it comes over the top of the community centre and very slowly, just deliberately, so everybody can see exactly what's happening, scoops up, as you say, both of the houses. They both went after Vector before, so he wants to get revenge on both of them.
It's in the title.
What about this then? So he comes over in so he, as you say, comes over in his hover thing, goes over the house, thing opens at the bottom, and it fires all of these things out that stick to the house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about those, yes,
and then, but they're like magnetised, so it then sucks them out the ground.
I was going to say filled with helium, but yes.
Yeah, and then it flies off, so so he's got the two of them flying off. Oh yeah, as he's flying away.
And then we get that moment when Gru and Mr. Incredible look at each other. Oh gosh. I suppose it would be Magda and Elastigirl look at each other. Edith and Dash.
Yeah.
And of course Jack. And then eyes just narrow.
Yeah.
And then I think we cut to a montage.
So again, at that moment, there should be just something small, whether it's like Gru goes for his freeze ray or something, and Mr. Incredible, I don't know, he's holding something, and he just, either that or he just crushes something.
Yeah.
And Gru notices it, and that's like, the double take, as you say, and then it's like, oh yeah.
Curse you, tiny toilet!
And then I think we should cut to a montage.
Yes.
Of preparation.
Oh, yes!
Absolutely.
Team up, Batman Forever style montage.
Yes. Yeah.
Complete with ridiculous buckshots.
Is that our second act, or do we want more?
I think we want a bit more. Because I think what it should be is we get a little team up thing here.
Uh-huh.
It should really get to the point where they are at the point of beating Vector, and that's when we get the big reveal.
Oh gosh, I've forgotten about Syndrome. Yes.
I was thinking that. Fair play.
Yeah.
And I'll give you golf clap for that, buddy.
Good show.
Good show. Yeah, very good.
Certainly Gru knows where Vector's lair is.
Yes.
So they can go with him to get there. Between them, they can break in.
Yes, you're right. The second act has to end with them defeating Vector.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're right. Just at that point, it's not when they've got him in shackles. It's that point when he's on his knees and they're all walking up on him.
Yes.
All hero style.
Yes.
And then somewhere in the background of that, as you say, the slow clap begins.
And there's probably like a big monitor comes up.
Well, oh, a monitor!
So
Yes.
Like a proper old school cinema.
Monitor, take that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about having him in the scene, and that was been like, how do we get him get away? Monitor is even better.
A
huge monitor, like a cinema-sized monitor.
The Times Square Jumbotron!
Well,
fits the character so well.
Yeah.
Once we get him on the monitor, some screens or some panels reveal, and it's just all TNT or something.
Yeah.
It's all rigged to explode. I've got all of my chickens in my basket, and now I'm going to take care of you all.
Oh, poop.
Because we're trying to combine the milieus again,
Yeah.
we should have a bunch of TNT or some of the bombs that Syndrome had.
Yes.
But also we should have that huge array of missiles and things that come down
Of course.
over the wall of Vector's compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just like all
Full
of the guns.
cartoon, yeah.
Yes.
All of the guns.
That's fantastic. I mean, we can go into details if you want of how this plays out, but I mean,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, fun times had by all.
Act 2 done. Do we then, again, just before we wrap this up, so we know where we're going, and obviously we're going for Syndrome in Act 3, do we want to still go with the idea of what I was saying about there's going to be some new tech revealed, and that's the ultimate thing that Syndrome's trying to get all of his eggs in one basket out of the way so he can go and steal something super duper?
Yes.
That would make sense, because like you say, why would you
Why would you go to all
rope
the
in
trouble?
Vector unless there was something Vector knew that you wanted?
Yeah.
Just understand, we've only got one act to express it, so we better do it early.
As I said, we will just jump back into Act 1. We'll see some stuff in Act 1 on the news about this new, as I said, I just thought some super duper plane to take us to the
that's a
moon
good
or
one.
something, or take us to
Right,
Mars,
okay.
or something
Yes,
like that.
because it's like the rocket in The Incredibles, so it kind of pays off. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Fantastic.
we go.
Because
All right.
then we could even have, if we want with that,
Oh?
I can steal Mars.
That has potential, but that's for the next act.
It is. Xadrum is more than just curious content on YouTube. We're also a small publishing house, with books covering a range of genres from 1940s pulp adventure to children's novels, and even a touch of the macabre for those who like their literature on the dark side. Our titles are available in both paperback and ebook formats. Ebooks are available on Amazon, but physical copies can only be bought exclusively through our website at xadrum.com. Jeff's got enough cash as it is, so why not help us little guys grow and thrive? Links can be found in our banner and in the description to all of our videos, and we look forward to helping you indulge your itch for escapism. So I've had hopefully a bit of a brainwave.
Oh, right, okay, all right.
So
Tell us
as we
all
said,
about it.
season
Tell us
in-
about it, Janet.
Tell us about it, Janet.
It's raining. Sorry, sidetracked. Tangent. I'm not saying that. Oh yeah, we've seeded in the idea that they're going to be invading this new thing. It's the new Mars rocket. But what if the rocket has been built with Syndrome tech?
Okay.
Sounds
yeah.
good to me, yeah, again.
Yeah,
with
that
them
feels
kind of
like a
crossing
good
things
lead
over.
into the third act. Yeah,
It
that
makes
feels
sense.
good.
So Syndrome is with all of his tech, he's got a back door that he can access
Because of course he does.
to make it easier for him to steal.
Obviously, we're not going to say
Oh,
it in this many complicated terms, but he's become a defence contractor.
As he says in the film,
He was selling his weapons
he's
to
going
the
to sell
highest
all weapons
bidder.
because when everybody's a hero, then nobody is.
Yeah.
And because they all think he's dead, they've just appropriated all of his tech and used it to build this rocket, not knowing that he's got these
Yeah,
secret
no,
these redundancies.
That's a layer, baby.
Yeah, 'cause that makes perfect sense, because why wouldn't he?
Exactly.
Yes.
So we've left Gru, the Incredibles, and Vector in Vector's base, which is about to go boom. In that bit where they go and try and take out Vector, we can still have them, even though they're working together, kind of
Antagonism, yeah.
some antagonism between them. So this is the moment where they actually have to get themselves out of a life or death situation. Are we saying that the girls are there as well, or there's no reason for them to be?
I mean, I would want to include them, because I just think not including them is a bit weird. But I would say
Put them with the minions.
Sorry,
Put them with the minions.
there you go. Put them with the minions.
Minions bounce.
Yes.
And again, because you then also have a good kind of shield for them
Yeah, exactly what I was
during
thinking.
like the more
yeah.
sort of dangerous situations. So
Yes.
we're not endangering powerless children either.
Let's say the girls are doing what the girls do, and they've snuck into, like, the secret skyship or whatever that's bringing the minions in to back them up.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've snuck onto the ship.
Yes.
They're in the
brilliant,
Arrow Bay
like
or
that.
something
Yep,
like that.
Rock and roll.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Of course.
That makes.
Of course. So it's the minions
And
and
they
them-
would do that.
So it's the minions and them that come and rescue the Incredibles and Gru from Vector's base.
Yes.
Even better. Yes.
So are we saying that, because we started with the huge cinema-sized screen,
Yeah.
obviously, of Syndrome. So is he revealing his plan and they've now got to regroup, or is there a further complication that we want to extend things a little bit?
I mean, we are in the third act.
That's why I was asking.
I would say, like you said, we've done surprise reveal. We have Mars rocket.
I mean, the plot is happening, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, we could have an extended sequence of escape from the base before it explodes because it was, I don't know, Syndrome, Vector.
It's Vectors. So,
Built
yeah.
on a volcano. Syndrome delivers his message and pushes the button that unleashes the volcano under the island base.
Yeah.
And they've got an extended escape sequence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they save Vector?
Oh, I mean, because I think Vector dying would be a bit dark for the Incredibles.
I wanna
Sorry,
see-
for the
Well,
Despicable
you know,
Me universe.
we've given ourselves a bit of shift room
Yeah.
in tone between the Incredibles and the Despicable Me universe.
I want to see Vector get away surfboarding on his shark.
Oh yeah!
That is wonderfully specific. Yeah. Yes.
Go on.
Surfboarding a shark. I think that is. I like where your head's at.
They are his favourite pets, so that kind of makes sense.
Indeed, and yeah, I think sort of.
I mean,
that
if you
kind of
want to go a
movement-
little bit dark about it, he's surfboarding with all the water from the tank, but all of it is turning into gas because there's molten lava rolling after it. And as he kind of surfs out, he kind of grips the fin by the knees, pulls out his squid gun, shoots it up into the air onto something, and swings them out of danger. And that's his exit from the film.
So basically, yeah, we leave it open for him to come back.
Yes.
In a typically daft fashion.
Yeah, of course, yes, yeah. Very sort of James Bondy escapey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my only feeling with this whole sort of Mars rocket thing, it doesn't strike me as that like a dangerous thing with Syndrome. Because like when we had like the Omni tech droid things going wrong, there was a threat element to it. So I'm trying to think like with this kind of rocket Mars thing,
Okay.
what could you do?
So it's not just the Mars rocket. The Mars rocket has a prototype rover or a droid that it's supposed to be deploying onto the Martian surface. He wants to take it over because he's reprogrammed the droid to attack something. A foreign power or something like that.
Oh, I see. So the Mars thing is kind of the cover story.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Right.
I like where your head's at now, because, yeah, like you say, if you're
Okay.
attacking something, oh my gosh, this might be an absolutely lunatic idea, and if you tell me to F off, I will understand.
Well, considering everything you've come out with and his genius so far, I doubt it.
What if Syndrome's target is the Bank of Evil?
Take it.
Shut up and take my money!
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Of course it is. Yes. Brilliant. And that makes perfect sense that he was using Vector, because Vector's on the outs with his dad because of his failure with regards to the moon. It all fits.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's just...
Thank you.
Oh, yep, definitely. And that's kind of nice as well, because that puts Gru in a difficult position, because it's like...
Been screwed over
Yeah.
by them, so it's like, do you want to help someone that screwed you over? And like, I'm a villain, I don't have
All right.
to help you.
Okay. I think I see how we solve this. We have to wind back just a tiny bit. I've focused on it quite a bit, so I'm picking these two, but it doesn't have to be these two. But I'm thinking that some of the kids bond.
Yeah.
I'm thinking particularly at this point, because we've done it a couple of times, Edith and Dash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that gives them a reason to turn to Gru and say, look, and do the old Kitmize. And
Yeah.
I mean, we could do the whole family, but I feel like that's overkill. I think if we just have it Edith and Dash, because they're kind of the right age
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be that burgeoning.
So it should be
sense.
something.
Yeah.
It should be something simple. There should be a nice moment of pathos to it as well.
Mm.
It should be they've realised what Syndrome's trying to do. They know they need to work together, but Bob and Gru just can't, because they're the father figures.
Yeah.
They're constantly arguing. They're trying to work together. They're almost coming to blows, and they both have to go and cool off. And as they go and cool off, they just see Edith and Dash in a quiet moment together, and it's just the two of them. And
I
it's like,
don't know if I'm going too far.
and
We need to go back through the first couple of acts and force out of this. So we were talking about the conflict between the kids. Edith likes making mud pies. She keeps smushing him with mud pies. Like, the moment when they realise is when she makes a little mud pie and just, like, really affectionately smushes him with a mud
Yeah,
pie.
It's a mud pie in the shape of a heart.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
Nice.
I think that's one each there. I think there's a
Oh, yeah.
Because again, you can do that sort of flash thing where it's like, yes, you're really fast, but if you're not looking where you're going, then you still get smushed.
Yes. Lovely. I want to also say again, when we get to the finale, I want to give Edith that gun that Gru uses when they're at the carnival.
Ooh.
You know the
What,
one
the
that...
Kablami gun?
Yeah, the big... I just wanted to pull that out of a bag.
Ching, 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 ching. It unfolds like 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's a nice moment. They see the two of them together and they realise that, sometimes the kids need to lead the adults.
Yes.
It's about family.
Exactly.
Well, that was
That
the
works.
thing going into it. Yes, it works.
So they go off to try and stop Syndrome
Yep.
as he attacks the bank. At this point, then again, I know we kind of forgotten about him, but there's no reason why towards the end here, I'm going to call some help. And we get a little quick cameo from Frozone in the finale.
Because of course we do.
How is this going to go down then?
Oh, and then the mole, of course.
Oh, yes, the under. Well,
I forgot about the.
Well, if you want to do that, we can have him when he calls Frozone. He's fighting the Underminer, and he just kind of freezes him
and the mode. Sorry, not mole.
Yes, yeah, I like that. That's a nice callback. But I'm thinking. Give me a second. Give me a second, buddy. I'm thinking Frozone is the guy who gets all of the minions into the building in like 3 seconds flat. Skiing down the thing, and then we have a little montage of the minions like.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's fun.
Like the slow-mo bit with...
have the Ski Sunday theme in the background.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Oh,
you know the slow-mo bit with Quicksilver?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like Frozone is doing it, and they're all skating along behind him, and it's all graceful and whatever. And then they just collide in.
Yeah.
And then Bob's
fantastic.
in the back dressed as Elsa.
Yes!
No.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. I love it. Both rotated, and you as well, Sam. You both. That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Frozone comes to the rescue and gets all of the minions into the building.
Yep.
Toot sweet.
So let's think about this. Because my other thinking was, if we are again just coming back to using the Underminer, would be we know that the rocket's coming from above with the robot in to attack the bank, but they use the Underminer's thing to come in from below.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was also thinking, there is one character we've forgotten.
Ooh.
Oh, we forgot Edna.
Oh my gosh, we did.
So I would suggest, because we've had I think in the second act we talked to a montage bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dr. Nefario, Edna, team up.
Exactly, that was what I was thinking. That
Yeah, you
Dr.
could say,
Nefario
to
and
be fair,
Edna
yes.
would be great because he's all tech and she's all style, and they'd be arguing about what needs to be included in the kit.
So while the others are doing this big argument, they've been off doing that. So as they're about to head out, hold on.
Yes, things are going quite well.
Edna and Nefario turn up with this big truck that's got all of these suits in them. There's just like a big clothesline of suits in the back of the truck.
So do we give the girls suits?
Oh yeah, suits all
Yes! I love that!
all
I love
suits
that!
at the time, yeah.
And I know Agnes would squeal like a little piggy.
You don't love me!
Yes. Oh, I love it. No, yeah, that works. All right, sorry. That's got us up to
the actual finale
up to
itself.
the confrontation.
Yeah.
New scary droid things.
Yes.
New scary droid things. Syndrome.
Oh, idea.
Oh, light bulb.
Light bulb. Big scary droid thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had previously cinema screen syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Syndrome screen. Big machine.
That kind of ties into what I was just thinking. Rather than having big scary droid thing that the rocket is taking, big scary droid thing is the rocket. It's a transformer.
Oh yes. So it kind of cuts out like that.
Yeah, so it kind of when it kind of
the
lands,
scary
it then
legs
transforms
and
into a
shit,
big
yeah.
robot with a big screen that's got Syndrome's face on it. So it's like,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Where are things? So big scary robot is on Mars?
Oh, no.
It never gets to Mars.
No,
It's
right.
Mars robot.
Oh,
This
it's
is
the
where
Mars
I got-
rocket, but it didn't go where...
No,
it
because
didn't
he's
go to
hijacked
Mars.
it.
Yeah, because that was the cover story.
That was the
Because
cover
what
story.
he's actually doing is
He hijacks the Mars rocket to attack the Bank of Evil.
of evil. Because
Oh.
the Bank of Evil's going to, have a
Right.
mega ton of money.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so... Oof. And the big tentacle arms going smush, smush, smush,
And of
digging a
course,
hole into the ground.
Syndrome being Syndrome, he'd have thought about every security thing they'd have.
Maybe he was even a consultant on it.
So
Which would make sense.
we're saying Syndrome is no longer pretending to be a hero. He's just going for the villain side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, because he nearly got killed.
Yeah.
That on top of the personal stuff, that hasn't gone away either. Like a lot of people, when they're sort of spurned, they become...
how this ends.
Yeah, so you have your big face-off, and of course what we need to do is the sort of Sonic Hero style sort of team-up moves.
Yes.
So that everyone sort of...
Everybody
works
teams
together.
up with somebody, yeah.
So
Oh! Got one. At one point, we do have to do a sort of variation on Fastball Special, where Bob grabs Gru and sort of flings him to,
he can point his laser gun and
hit the weak
shrink
spot,
ray.
which is too far
Oh,
away
that's
to
even
get
better.
to
That
this-
plays into what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
because they have to trust each other.
Yes.
Oh, because that could be a fun earlier thing. Could be them doing a trust exercise and fucking.
Oh, yeah, that'd be part of the montage.
It's
Yeah, that would be lovely.
You've got to catch him, and he's got to catch Bob.
You
but
were
he's so heavy.
You
because
were
he's so
supposed
strong.
to catch me. I know, but I didn't want to.
All right, so hear me out.
Yeah.
It'll take a minute. So what happens is everybody goes in.
Yeah.
Everybody kitted up.
Big team up.
The girls have got their zap guns, their
Whatever,
whatever guns.
Yeah.
Gru's got. I'm gonna say Gru's got the shrink ray.
Oh, yeah, we haven't used the
Yeah,
shrink ray,
shrink
but
ray's
yeah,
always,
yeah.
shrink ray's always fun.
Yeah, you see, this is where my plan goes. Syndrome has obviously upgraded the Omnidroids to be even more indestructible. So even though they do amazing teamwork, which we get a lovely 5-10
piece,
minute
yeah.
sequence,
As you do.
they're beaten back because the whole punching yourself thing doesn't work anymore, and eventually they realise go long. Bob says go long to Dash all the time.
Yes, yeah.
So this is the bit when he throws Gru, but we've got to get Gru into the spot to zap him with the shrink ray before he can react.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Because
okay.
then we have a 3-inch little thing that people can step on.
Oh.
Does that work?
I think that works.
think
I mean, obviously, there's more detail. Obviously, there's
Yeah.
a big bit with them fighting it. They're going to do everything they can to it. They probably take a couple of its arms and legs off or whatever, but never enough to actually disable it.
I just had an idea, because they are pretty much indestructible, we could have a minion gun that just fires minions.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh!
I like that. Yeah, that's a cool visual.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. Let's give it to Magda.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's just big enough to hold on to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have given it to Agnes, but she's too small. She
Yeah.
could blast it backwards.
Exactly.
Just big enough so she can move it, so she can go invisible and then just reveal. And you've got this big magazine of minions.
Exactly. Indeed. Also very toyetic.
Oh. Okay, so how do we wrap this up in a neat little bow?
So we have, in effect,
Of course.
destroyed the thing. Life lessons have been learned.
Yeah.
They then have to decide we have to be prepared for more threats again.
So, sorry, all I was going to say was, so two things. One, we should have a moment in this sequence where Gru saves Mr. Perkins.
That'd be good, yeah? I like that. Because again,
sorry, I forget who's Mr. Perkins.
The
a
head
Bank
of
of
the
Evil.
Bank of
boss.
the
Yeah,
the one
Vector's
that's
dad.
guy
voiced
who
by
looks like
Will
he belongs
Arnett,
in a Dilbert comic.
Yeah,
Yes,
Vector's
yeah.
dad, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Voiced
so
by Will Arnett.
yes.
Really?
But we
Yeah, I
also,
know. Surprising, isn't it?
because in all of this, is Syndrome present, or is it just his robots and he's activating them remotely?
Ooh. Oh, although throwing this out there, because we've seen Syndrome on screens this whole time, maybe this was a backup he produced before he died. So he had this as a backup plan.
Oh,
Just
like
like
Sherlock with
Bye.
Moriarty. Right.
Bingo, yes.
Yeah, right.
It's a backup that kicks into effect if things go wrong.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Or is
I
that,
don't like that.
I'm going to say, I see what you're saying, and that works nicely in certain elements, but I feel like we're developing a series here.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair because then, like you say, he can come back another day. But
I feel like this is episode 2 of
Yes.
whatever.
Okay, fair play. Because, like I say, Vector's got away and we haven't. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. So so we have this present threat. My feeling is there has to be like a new organisation that's set up. So the posh guy who's like the good guy organisation in Despicable Me.
Bottom.
He's working. These guys have worked together, so I think we probably should too.
Okay. So we're saying that they resolve this threat,
Yeah.
but Syndrome gets away?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
So basically, the threat is still out there.
Yeah.
I do also have an idea for a fun end credit scene, but I'll wait for that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think we're almost there then, because if we've got nothing else...
Well, I agree with his suggestion that not necessarily a new organisation, but a reshuffling of the Anti-Villain League or whatever they are.
But then you've also got like the government on the Incredibles side, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but we still get our bit with Syndrome, a bit like Dr. Claw. I'll get you next time.
I was going to say it, you sod, you beat me. You beat me.
Actually, strangely enough, my end credit
You
scene...
got it, you can have the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm just going to say my thing, just because my thing is not an end credit scene.
Okay.
We had a 3 months later, and I think we should have a 3 months later, but it's a family barbecue.
Nice.
Between the two
Yeah,
neighbours.
good Fast and the Furious ending.
And probably, if we're going to play off of the ending of the original Incredibles, something happens in the middle of the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody has to start pulling out their gadgets and costumes.
Yeah, exactly. Like God, what's his name? The one that's like voiced by the guy from South Park.
Evil brat!
The show starred young Balthazar Brat.
Just like throwing one of them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Benjamin something. The 80s retro one.
Oh, yes. That's number 3, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't remember the character's name, but I know who you mean.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But that's cool. So can I say my idea for my end credit?
Of course
you can. Absolutely,
Because it's interesting
go for it.
you mentioned Inspector Gadget, because I wrote this and then realised it's very similar to an end credit scene in the Inspector Gadget film, which...
Okay.
I've never seen the film. I've only ever watched the
It's a
original
bit
cartoon.
took, to be quite frank.
Yeah,
It's a bit what?
It's a bit took, a bit rubbish.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
I've
That's
seen
why I
those.
never watched it. I was a bit worried that it was going to be a lackluster interpretation.
It's a very... I mean, strangely enough, there was a reboot cartoon that came out very recently, which was pretty good.
Was there really?
Yeah, but it's like a CGI one, which was kind of fun. So, but anyway, in that film, there's like an end scene where like the hench people have like a group therapy session. My feeling with the end credits of this one: what if Gru was in a group therapy session with Megamind, Wreck-It Ralph, and the Scarlet Witch?
You can take it definitely, because when I was thinking about this, the other option would have been Gru and Megamind.
It had to be done.
So
It had to be done.
Yeah, give it to
Because, we've got one crossover, so why not?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's
That's our
movie.
Good work, team.
Fantastic.
I really enjoyed that. That was
fun.
Yes,
That was a romp.
We're going to do what we normally do and just take a couple of seconds, gather our thoughts, and then we'll be straight back to cast our votes. And of course, I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a moment. And by the power of cinema, we haven't gone anywhere. We're back. Okay, so 2, 4, 6. I'm on a very sweet 9.
Oh, I'm on 8.
7.
So
Which is 3 more than last time, so
Fantastic.
yes.
Over to you first then.
I say yes.
It's as simple as that, is it?
Yep, I think this is a lot of fun. I think it blended better than I expected. I think you'd have to handle it in the right way, but I think there's potential.
Okay.
I am the same mind. I love this. As I said, it was a romp. It was very enjoyable. If anybody could have as much fun watching it as I had making it, then we've won.
And I'm going to make it 3 for 3. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. Even more so considering that I think we've all come into this without a fixed plot in mind.
No, we didn't. No.
We've all had sort of bits and pieces, and as the whole point of the show is pulling all of these into a seething cauldron of ideas.
Yeah, with 18.
I had a
Yeah.
vague notion at the beginning that we would follow-ish the plot of the original Incredibles. Obviously, that's not where we went at all. And the result was amazing.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
As always, this is first draft. So, this is our brainstorming session. Again, it would go through multiple rewrites to iron out and make sure all of the comedy and stuff is in the right place. But based on what we've done here, yeah, absolutely. I'm on board with this all the way. So, as always now, it's over to you lovely people at home. Please, again, watch over what we've done here today and check out our community tab on YouTube, our pin post on X, and also for the next 24 hours, it'll be running on our story on Instagram as well. Cast your vote on there whether or not you think Incredibly Despicable Vector's Revenge is a maybe movie or not. And at the first of our shows in June, we will announce whether or not it makes the grade. Thank you, as always, again, to Rob for worming your way back into, literally, underground.
Yep.
Which is amazing, because we don't know what's outside of here, so we didn't even know that there was ground outside of our little pocket home from home.
Indeed, sometimes, there's too much panicking out there, so, I had to go deeper underground.
Oh.
Ba, ba, ba.
So after having just done our review of Godzilla as well.
Yes. Jamiroquai strikes again.
Oh dear. I don't have the hat for it.
No.
So as always, until next time, please do look after yourselves, look after one another, and take care.
Bye.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.